Hello and very warm welcome to this special podcast series called Digital India Podcast, where we host senior industry leader, government official, and we try to understand from them as to what they are doing in technology, what kind of innovative project they are working on, and as to how technology is helping them. Today, I am joined by Mr. Puneet Asthana, who is currently the Executive Director and Chief Technology Officer for Shriram Wealth. We are going to talk to him on various issues and we will try to understand as to what kind of innovative work is being done. Mr. Asthana, first of all, thank you so much for taking out time for this podcast. Let me begin by asking you, you are somebody who has spent a lot of time in technology space and you have seen the zigzag, the different movement of technology from internet boom to cloud adoption to blockchain to what we are actually today's talking is AI buzz. How do you look all these emergence? What has been your personal thought process in this journey?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for having me on this prestigious podcast you run in this episode. Thank you. Uh, Coming straight to the landscape of technology and the journey which I have seen, let's understand first of all where the market is today.
Right.
Today, market is at about, if I talk particularly of BFSI, we are about 190 plus 90 million kind of accounts. We have about retail contribution as customers for about some close to 45 to 50%,
Correct.
which is a very good sign.
Yes.
And this is going to grow further. Then, of course, in the wealth industry, I believe we are very bullish on the wealth landscape. So, industry overall looks very promising. Now you talk of the evolution of technology. The way I've seen from going back to my Reliance days, it was more of business process re-engineering. That is what it started. I've seen the advent of automation through portals.
Right.
The digital way of doing it. Then I've seen, of course, the mobility boom. So 3G, I've seen the evolution of 3G and 4G. Then, of course, mobile apps became today a reality. And of course, today, what is not on mobility is not something which is,
Right.
at all, friendly, user friendly per se. And then today, in light of data analytics, and then we have reached to a journey of AI today, right? Which basically AI definitely needs a a data layer to sort of. I see that three things. Businesses today are supposed to measure and be very, very niche in terms of reaching out to the customers.
Right.
Customers, from the customer's point of view, they are looking at just in time. They're looking at uh, things which can be given to their mobile handset. If it is not there, they are not interested in basically even talking to
Right.
bots or even to the call center. The new thing which is from the technology centricity is very, very critical is the hyper personalization.
Right.
That's a buzzword, but it's actually not a buzzword anymore. People are looking at, please show me a page or a home page or a landing page, which is specific to me.
Right.
The time is moving beyond to the static pages
Right.
where the whole data is there and you have to find this. This time is changing. So customized, hyper personalized interfaces, what customers demand is. And the third thing, which is very important, which we all have to acknowledge, is the regulatory and the scenario which government drives, the way ecosystem, the whole industry is driving. The regulatory and compliance is another. Seen technology growing, cutting across all of it.
Right.
Has been the kind of an automation you can do, the way you can handle data, the way you can resolve
Right.
customers' complaint. I believe that continues to be a common norm.
Absolutely.
Across from the web era to today to AI era.
I think you have touched upon all the important thing which is relevant today from a technology perspective, which is you have to the mobile ready, you have to do the customization at the customer level, which is hyper localization. And also you have to be completely ready with the new regulation imposed by government. Now, let me ask you one important thing. When there is a growth and let's say a new technology comes in, so if you look at last 10 years, we all have been talking about cloud adoption, cloud as a de facto platform for innovation. And large number of companies has gone to the cloud. And most of the organization you see today, they are in a hybrid mode. Some workload on the cloud, some workload on-prem. So it's a kind of hybrid environment. Now we are seeing similar thing is happening with AI. Now companies of different sizes are somehow trying to experiment as to how we can use AI in some way in our workload. So as a CTO, at times, isn't it becomes quite challenging that you have to take a call in order to decide what to shift and where to utilize AI, or where not to utilize, whether I need to put this thing into the cloud and on-prem. And if those things are happening within a year or maybe 2 years, and you don't have too many use cases and case study to do, then it becomes like a difference. So how do you handle such a situation?
My basic philosophy as a CTO and a technologist have been, uh, I'm never, or always rather maintain a stand of taking a situation control first,
Right.
rather than reacting to a technology. It has to be a very calculated response. I have taken across all. If I see my history from 3G, from video streaming to mobile apps to everything, I have taken same approach is what I have today on the data as well as the AI. Now, to answer a question of what is the use case? Now, this is something which I believe cross industry, people have to be clear that technology is not a problem.
Right.
So let me tell you that right tools and technology for artificial intelligence is available.
Right.
What is not available is what to do, which is the use case which would really create an impact.
Right.
And that for me today is the bigger word than doing a project completion to the design timelines. No, I tell all my partners, I talk to varied industry fraternity in the technology domain. My pitch to them today is, if you have a solution, is it really leading to an impact? When I say impact, impact has to be felt by the business users.
Right.
Impact has to be felt by the end customer. If there is no impact, then merely doing a technology just to be in line with everyone is, of course, there is also one of the ways that people get very excited that are we riding AI journey or not? In every boardroom today, this is the common item in the list.
Right.
That what are we doing on AI? That's a very normal question. All the CTOs face it, CDOs face it. That what are we doing?
Right.
But my personal take, and I think the same I'm implementing today in my current organization, which is Shriram Group for the whole capital markets business, is that I have to finalize a use case which leads to an impact. If that use case has an impact, then of course we have to build the ground up work. That's one. Then, of course, you asked about what to keep on cloud, what to keep on prem. This is again a topic which touches 2-3 points. One is cybersecurity.
Yes.
Of course, your data security is paramount. Which model, which ecosystem that model works, where your data is going is something which is a concern, and every company or a tech architect has to look into these things. Then there are regulatory limitations.
Right.
There are certain workloads today. I can talk of India.
You can't.
Has to be on-prem, right? There is a limitation the way APIs can be exposed.
Yes.
And the data which is going over the API. So this, I believe, gives a limitation to the what AI use cases we can work on. At the same time, there's a divide between Gen AI and agentic AI models which can work for a particular business case or enterprise leading to a certain impact. I believe these two reigns are running in parallel, wherein Gen AI is creating a little excitement. For the end customer, it becomes very exciting. For normal users, you and me, Gen AI gets very exciting. But from the enterprise perspective, I believe a well-calculated use case with an agentic approach where you know your data, you also know what data set is required, either from in-house or from your external sources, which model do you download, where that model works. Either you can use, of course, your GPUs in your own data center and can run a model. The answer is yes, you can do that.
That apprehension, especially on the enterprise part of AI, we do not see that kind of success that we have seen with the Gen AI, especially for the consumer use. Is it because also the fact that for an enterprise, whatever could be your size, you could be SBI, you could be HDFC, you could be any bank, but you will have the limitation in terms of your data, because even having your own customer, your ticket is being managed by a third-party platform like Jira. Some of other things could be managed by ServiceNow. Database could be managed by Oracle or SAP. All of these are proprietary solutions. They don't talk to each other. So when you are building an enterprise-grade LLM, is it possible for an enterprise to build that kind of LLM model for themselves? Or do you think if we are able to create maybe a holistic platform where all these record of the systems could talk to each other, then possibly you'll be able to create a far better and superior model matching with the capabilities of Gen AI, because they are picking data from, let's say, search engine. But as an enterprise, you can't do that.
So I think you have opened the problem.
Yes.
And you have touched onto the core of the problem. In a way, you're right. Let's take example of a new age organization like Shriram Wealth, and let's take, I work for HDFC, ICICI, the legacy company. In my view, the challenge with the legacy is that the data set is completely in various directions. It is not easy to create one repository or at least an unstructured delink but available data. There are so many, you can say, foreign relationships exist. The data is completely isolated. So to get that data and derive a use case, it is taking time, and that is where it is taking time. So as I said, technology of artificial intelligence is not a problem. The problem is data. Problem is data consolidation. Problem is data cleanness, because data is not clean. So how do you make the data clean? That's one challenge. To answer your question, is that enterprise can someday make a big platform? I believe that's not required altogether. My views.
Yes.
That's not required. What is required, as I said, if you are clear about the impact, if you're clear about an outcome, which a model has to render, I'm a firm believer with this approach, we someday will become model of a models. There'll be various models which will exist in an enterprise, serving different purposes, and at some stage, creating a synergy among themselves.
Yes.
So that's a journey, I believe, where we are heading to. And I believe that's a journey for about a decade or so. It's not going to happen in 2-3 years.
I was going through one of your interview, and you spoke about the fact that there has to be the federated learning among organization, especially when you are talking about AI, blockchain, and innovative ideas. That within organization, the different departments should learn from each other, which normally happen. Then within the community, you should have a federated learning. But in practical sense, we hardly see actually those things happening. How do you see that concept and how important it is, especially for an innovation when you are making?
I'm very optimistic and very bullish on the fact that we have to create a federated learning ecosystem. Somebody has to take a lead in this. This is a block, I believe, is missing. Federated learning within the company is something which to some extent people are trying to solve with their native solutions. But if I look at the industry overall, let's take two areas, cybersecurity and compliance. Today, if I take example, SEBI comes out with so many circulars.
Yes.
Circulars have got interpretation, the language every company can interpret differently.
Yes.
Then there are cases where people go to the exchanges and request, please tell us what is that you want, etc. Then each company would have a different approach to implement that circular. Now, usually this is all passed. Challenges come when you do an audit. Things come to surface in some scenarios. Now, this becomes learning. Are these learnings shared? Not really. So, if these learnings are being shared, and there is a forum created where we can actually post that somebody faced a challenge. X company faced another set of challenge. This federated learning, this common platform would be a good precursor for people to sort of check and read through those lines that, okay, their individual architects can go through those findings and, and rectify. This is a way we can actually reduce, and I think this is very important when it comes to compliance and cybersecurity.
Right.
So I'm a strong promoter of a federated learning, and I believe with AI and creating, as you said, larger ecosystem someday would help on this.
Right. Since you mentioned two very important things, one is the cybersecurity, other is the compliance. Both of them, especially for the BFSI organization, is really important. So in this situation, what happened? You are able to control within your organization a lot of things, but most of the organization, especially BFSI or any type of organization, they work with a lot of third-party organization. And then you have a lot of risk around the third-party risk management. Do you see that with AI coming into picture, there could be some differentiation happening, especially at the TRPM level in terms of managing the third-party risk?
In fact, already there is a big risk with the SaaS ecosystem, because in the fintech fraternity, which I have full faith, and fintech world has done a fantabulous job in terms of solving a lot of problems. At the same time, I request to my partners to comply by the guidelines, which few of them are doing very aggressively, and I believe that will help. So you're right. Today, the cybersecurity audit, or a VAPT as we typically do, extends to the SaaS ecosystem, extends to the partner, that they have to, sort of follow certain norms. And those reports, the audit reports, have to be submitted so that alongside my audit, that ecosystem is also getting at least the audited report, if it is to be believed. So, has to be audited. That's one. Vendor evaluation has become very different. The kind of an entry norms for highly regulated product lines has changed. Thankfully, the fintech fraternity has also understood, and they are sort of, I should say, in line, in some cases, step forward in terms of complying with that. But again, when it comes to AI, things don't change. Very frankly, things don't change. The evaluation criteria for a partner who works for a model, builds out of a model, end of the day, he brings in certain code. He uses certain data.
Yes.
Then there is an ecosystem or a compute or a database or whatever, right? End of the day, one is that an organization and enterprise has to anyways have a perimeter security and all those norms, the access rules and all that. That's something I believe taken care of. The only challenge which comes in where this processing happens. Now, if that partner is giving you a SaaS kind of a ecosystem where he is doing processing, he again has to sort of follow the guidelines of the cybersecurity and the compliance criteria. And if you are able to, like large business houses can also work, and I believe I'm a promoter of a kind of an SLM model, very frankly, so that you can actually use a model which can work in your ecosystem, deliver the business value in a large way, and that's the whole purpose. I kind of distance myself from the hallucination of the AI, which I think mostly the world is in. Because I believe when you're using actual use case, you exactly know the outcome, you actually want to measure the impact, rather than sort of getting so hallucinated about the latest technology.
You mentioned about the compliance part, and we do see the government of India has already come up with DPDP Act, and guidelines are also being issued, and somehow down the line it will become mandatory for all of us to obey that particular guideline. And we are, especially in the BFSI, we are in a world where everything is happening with API. I mean, everything is getting connected. That means your data is talking to others' data. So you have a compliance to manage, as well as you need to look after the security of the API part as well. How do you manage both the compliance and security? What should be optimal strategy for any CTO and CIO?
I think the problem around API is in my view, is a pretty solved problem. Uh, you got to have a gateway.
Yes.
That gateway with, of course, the right tokenization, right OAuth, etc. Put all these tools are available to sort of secure your gateway, both for egress and ingress traffic. The challenge is about the data which is traveling on it. The API access controls are, I believe, is not something which is left open. It is already solved problem that can be done. And of course, with the perimeter security and all that, that is very well taken care of. The challenge is, especially when you ask about DPDP. So DPDP is all about data.
Right.
Who is producing, who is a fiduciary, who is in transit, etc. So in most of the cases, data at rest is encrypted or data in motion is encrypted. This is still a topic of debate.
Right.
In many cases, it is mostly in motion, it is encrypted, but data at rest is not something easily achievable.
Right.
But I believe the solution to achieve or comply with DPDP guidelines is at least within an enterprise. I'm still not very clear, or the whole industry is sort of contemplating that if a company A is sourcing our data from company B. So I'll tell you a classic case in Shriram Group. We have an NBFC, Shriram Finance. We are having capital companies. We have I manage AMC as well.
Right.
Now imagine if I have to really do a redirection from my for my wealth customer to my broking company, which is Way to Wealth today, or Shriram Insight, both the companies. Can I really seamlessly do it? Not really. So what has to be done? Of course, it is already being mandated that you have to have a consent management engine around it. You have to take consent, record the consent, give the capability to the customer that he is able to see his consent.
Right.
And if in case there's a dispute, then you have to create an ecosystem where customer can come and dispute it.
Right.
So which means that he has all the right to sort of revoke the kind of consent he is given. So with this, the job becomes a little difficult. I remember the days when we used to take okay from the customer and switch from bank side to a security side. But that's something which is not so easy. So all I'm trying to say is that DPDP would definitely be a journey from here to the level of maturity we can get. Education, I think, is very important. Customer themselves don't understand what they're supposed to sort of follow certain guardrails that, okay, this is my data. Today, our email IDs as individual customers is flowing over the place. I was referring to the Aadhaar cards which we give to the hotels. That's freely given. That's not right. That's somewhere I believe some changes are required. Another thing within enterprise, from the data security point of view, as per the DP guidelines, I believe at some point in time I was working and I'm still looking at that as a future, which is called as a PII kind of a vault.
Right.
So that PII vault can also solve a problem. But again, it's not easy. It's way easy for me to do today in Shriram Wealth, which I'm doing, by the way, wherein I can encrypt, convert them into kind of a keys. And that string is what is possibly frauding. So even if there is a man-in-the-middle attack over the transit, and still I'm not actually giving away any data. Because that decoding that string is not possible. But again, as I said, for a legacy organizations, it is not that easy. Because again, as I said, the data discovery for a DPDP journey itself is a task.
Right. One last question before I let you go. You have been working with the Shriram Wealth and leading the technology agenda for them. What is one unique thing that you are working, which is very futuristic and which you can talk to us?
We at Shriram Wealth, we launched with Ultra HNI segment, and very soon we're getting into the mass affluent segment as well.
Right.
What unique thing is what we're doing is in the relationship business. Wealth is more of a relationship business, right? To the extent in the Ultra HNI segment, there is a relationship manager, which is the face of the company.
Yes.
And discussing the wealth and the wealth management, futuristic planning with the customer. So there is a lot of human touch.
Right.
This is the unique thing which we want to maintain. But when it comes to mass affluent, there's a limit how many wealth managers you can have. So definitely in the mass affluent, there's going to be a digital interface.
Right.
But will it be a dead digital interface? No. Today it is.
Right.
Today it is a dead digital interface, which is like DIY. You can just go do it. There's no one. Now this is where we are adding element, and that is where I am working with a few of the partners to build certain AI use cases where the relationship managers who manage the mass affluent would also get adequate nudges for the kind of customers. And how do you reach out to those customers is what technology will fill in for them.
Right.
So they will still have relationship managers, but those relationship managers are not like reviewing data physically.
Right.
They will get enough nudges from the system. That is where your technology layer and the AI layer will help them to reach out to customer, process their varied data set, not just the portfolio that exists with us.
Right.
The way we manage the assets under our AUA, that's what we call it as, but also to their softer items.
Right.
What are their aspirations? Let's say in 5 years' time, somebody wants to do something. How quickly and how in time we are reaching out to the customer, proposing a product which helps him to achieve his, let's say, child education, possibly building a house or foreign trip or whatever. There could be, n number of goals a customer can have. To do this in a mass affluent thing, we're going to match this aspiration with technology. That's the differentiator we're doing. So that it is a very customized, tailored nudge, which is given to the relationship manager. At the same time, it is given to the customer on the app or the communication channels, varied communication channels, so that he feels taken care of.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the differentiation.
Right. Mr. Asthana, thank you so much for taking more time for this podcast.
Thank you for having me, and thank you.